I remember I was in Brazil when I was about 24. Brazil, the capital of like the best looking females as far as I'm concerned, and the best energy. And I was in a village. What does that mean? I was in a village. What's the significance of that? In a village, the girls haven't learned all this conditioning. They're not like society, modern women. They're village girls. So they're seeing a foreigner, blonde hair, blue eyes, young, tan skin, and they just like, well, I like you. They didn't hide it. I went crazy, okay, because I was living in LA in Hollywood trying to be an actor. That sucked. And so it was a very cold atmosphere. Nobody gave you attention. They wanted attention. It's like vampires being all around vampires. There's no victims. That's how I felt in LA. So then I went to Brazil to this village and I just got overwhelmed with attention. It was great. It was healing for a minute, but it made me restless as hell. So then I found a book by Swami Shivananda, the Practice of Brahmachari, I think is the name of it. And I was reading his book. It was like the first book that I don't even know how I got it. Somebody, yeah, I got it. Came from India. It was the first book I read that really talked about this stuff. You see, where else are you going to hear about it? Not in school, not from the doctors. You know, if the doctors talked about this, how many patients they'd cure? They wouldn't need their little pills anymore for a lot of things. Like this is heavyweight stuff. This is core level stuff. Just stop losing your semen. Stop fapping. Like what? This is gonna fix, like, if it doesn't fix everything, it's gonna help everything. How can it not help? You're getting more life force. You're not wasting your most precious life force. You can see my video on Ojas, the subtle essence of the semen. It builds the whole body and sustains it. So I read his book because I knew semen retention was important. I couldn't do it though. No, I could do it actually, but I couldn't stop lusting and edging. That was the thing. So, and I'm in Brazil, and I'm around a bunch of great looking girls, natural, no makeup, and they were just giving me attention. Like, okay, I was trapped. It made me so anxious and restless. So I followed I followed the directions of an aesthetic teacher who said, "Look at the ground. Look at your big toe when you walk. Just get out of the whole world." Oh, okay, I'm gonna try that. Man, that made me more crazy. I tried it for a couple days. It didn't work. And I realized, this is the point of the video, I realized like you can't run from the female. You can't run from female attraction. You can't ignore it. That's not the way. Now, maybe for some people, maybe if you're in an ashram, an all male ashram, and you want to practice that, okay. But if you're in the real world, it just doesn't work for most people. It definitely didn't work for me. Now, if you do that, a few days or a week just to get a little bit synchronized, just to come out of this, if you've been in lust and this whole sexual world so long, it's just so like, and you need to break that, okay. But then go on a retreat or something somewhere, or just go where there's no people and just take some time off and get break this pattern. If you're living in New York or LA or somewhere in some big city, just leave for a little bit if you can, and if you can't, then look down. Okay, but that's not the final answer. That only works to give a bit of discipline, so that we have to be able to be transcend the sexual instinct, transcend lust. Doesn't mean when I say transcend the sexual instinct that you don't like it doesn't die. You don't like cut your nuts off. You don't you don't like get rid of your desire to have a family or a girlfriend. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about not being a slave to it. This is what I'm talking about. Not being so obsessed with the dopamine hit that you get when trying to get a girl to look at you and give you attention, or the whole PMO thing. I'm talking about transcending that, being free of that, enjoying. Then you can appreciate the female for who she is. Why do a lot of guys resent girls? They resent their power. This has been going on since Adam and Eve, so to speak. This is why the priests and a lot of the other people burned the women, called them witches back in the day. Why? She didn't even do nothing. She'd just walk by picking herbs or something, and then the guys, they'd get all out of sorts inside. Why? Because it's powerful energy, that's why. But their ego can't admit that. And so they'd burn them. They said, no, she's doing a spell on me, you see? Female energy's strong. The guys that resent that, a lot of these alpha males and, the people that are all talking nonsense, like, don't look at the girl, we don't need them and all that, that's not balanced. That's total, it's worse than, just admitting like, hey, you got me, man. Like, you got some powerful energy. And I understand it makes it worse because, look, human beings, for the most part, at this time and age, we're just full of shit. We're always manipulating. We're playing these games, guys and girls. So, yeah, we're not perfect. So the women, they know this. They learn this pretty damn early, actually, that it's like, whoa, I got something here. I noticed the reaction I get from guys. It can be a young girl, but yet it's like, I can walk by a businessman who's supposedly mature and has a lot of money, which means they should be like, centered and healthy. But when I walk by them, I'm just a little girl. All I got, if I got a tank top on, I notice like, whoa, I have some influence on him. See, they learn that. And then what? Then they use it. They manipulate the guys and they try to extract material things and use them for some utilitarian purpose. Not all, but I'm just saying. And guys do the same thing in their own way. That's what I'm saying. The human beings aren't very spiritual. Spiritual means you're not so selfish and self-centered. You're getting your fulfillment and peace from inside. You're not trying to use others or the world to satisfy you because something has realized like that doesn't work. That's what spiritual means. Of course, a lot of spirituality is corrupt too. It's full of it. Everything. I heard somewhere 95% of everything is just nonsense in any field, including spirituality. There's only about 5% that is really authentic, and I'm definitely believe that. All right. So you gotta start. You need a higher power. This stuff's too strong. It's too strong. These habits, especially if you've been doing it for a while, you got to have a spiritual practice. You go to my other channel, Spiritual Renaissance. You need something like that. At the same time, your lifestyle. I made a video, and the reason I made this video so I can refer people there when they ask me, what can I do to make this easier? What can I do to help with withdrawal symptoms? What can I do to feel better? I just send them to that video. It's called something like the 7 things that you can do to raise your vibration or to be the best version of yourself. You'll see it if you want to look for it. That's what you do. You do that because we got to approach this. We can't just spiritualize everything away. I'm just going to meditate, but then I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to eat junk all day and hang out with stupid people and go to rave parties and stay up all night and do but I'm going to meditate and I'm going to overcome this habit, this compulsive obsession with the opposite sex or lust. It doesn't work like that. It's a full spectrum, you can say, protocol. You got to look at your different areas in your life and start improving that and do introspection and let that be underpinned with the spiritual practice. Then you'll overcome this lust. Okay? And then you can enjoy this life you're in. Thank God for the female. What if this planet was all men? I might kill myself. You can enjoy this female energy, but you won't be a slave to it. It's not gonna rile you up so bad. It's not gonna make you uncomfortable. You can enjoy it. And sometimes if God sends the right girl, you might feel it here even more. She looks at you in a certain way and it aligns with you, it matches, with your constitution. And you have psychological affinity and mental parity, and your chemistry is just okay. You're gonna feel that. That's normal. What do you think? You're not gonna be a robot. You're gonna feel that, but you can handle it. You can absorb that. There's space. Okay, That's the definition of maturity. Now, while getting there, you might fall. You just might, go back into lust. You might, you meet her and then you get her number and then you maybe thinking about her all, and like, damn, I can't stop thinking about her. Like, why am I obsessed? That's part of the deal. Somebody says, how do you overcome? They ask me existential questions. See, if you ask me how to like go to the bus station, I say you go down here, you turn right, and you'll see it. These questions aren't like that. You can't ask me like, how do I just overcome lust for good? There's no answer to that. It's evolution. I'm sharing as best as I know how of what I've learned that can help accelerate the evolution. Those things in that video, the 7 things that help make you the highest version of yourself, okay, do that. That's my advice to you. You do that as best you can. And then if you have questions after that, on top of that, well, then maybe we can do a private consult or something, because then it's more individual, okay? But those things that we can do in our life, good company, good food, good environment, all these things, we do that, and then we have some spiritual practice. This is the best way and only way I know that can help and that answers these questions, existential questions that you're asking. How to overcome lust and how to feel better and how to get through detox and withdraw and flatline. That's it. That's what I did. And it worked. And it works for those who I've worked with. I don't know anything else. It works real good, but you got to give it time, okay? And then you get to where you appreciate the woman. Like, whoa, and then you're grateful. You're like, wow, I'm really glad I can appreciate the woman. And you're glad for that period of time you went through when you were like some lustful addict. You appreciate that too. Why? Because then you can enjoy your higher space now. You look back, you don't regret it, but you look back, you're like, damn, I changed. There's been a real character transformation. Then you're qualified to help others. You can make YouTube videos. All right, see you.